Hello, this is Candace from By His Grace. Today I'm going to show you how I make French bread. It's very simple. You don't need any special tools. I'm just using this bowl, wooden spoon in my hands. Tonight we're just going to have a simple pasta meal, so I thought French bread will pair good with it. My daughter has been sick for the past few days, so we're all just kind of tired, so it's just going to be kind of an easy dinner. So I'm going to take you along with me while I make this bread for my family. The only ingredients you're going to need is 1 tablespoon of dry active yeast and 1.5 cups warm water. And then you're going to need 4 cups flour. This is the flour we use, but any flour that you use we fine. That's just what we use. 1 teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon sugar, and 2 tablespoon oil, and I'm using extra virgin olive oil today. So I'll take you along step by step while I make this bread for my family. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is dissolve the yeast in the warm water. Get it mixed together pretty well. I'm going to set that aside while I mix in my other ingredients. Let's see if you can see that. There we go. I'm going to put in my 4 cups flour. I'm going to put in my 1 teaspoon of salt. 1 tablespoon of sugar. And then we're just going to give this a stir, and we're going to wait for the yeast to activate, and then I will take you along to the next step. Okay, we are back. I let the yeast activate for about 5 minutes or so. I'm going to mix in the yeast now, and then the 2 tablespoons of oil, and you can use any oil. Today I'm using extra virgin olive oil, so we'll go ahead and get all this poured in. Here's the yeast water, and here's the oil. Now we're going to mix this very well. And just so you know, it's not going to come all together all at once, but just to be patient, because it will, and it will be delicious, but it just takes some time. What I do is I mix it as good as I can, and then I'm going to be coming back every 15 minutes for about an hour, so 4 times this next hour. And I'm just going to give it a stir, and you'll see by the end of that hour it's going to come together to be a very pretty dough. It'll all work out. Just gotta be patient and enjoy the process. Alright, so that's all I'm going to do right now. And then in 15 minutes I will come back and we'll stir it again. Okay, we are back and 15 minutes has passed, so we're going to do another stir. Alright, so we're going to give it another 15 minutes and we'll be back. Okay, it's been another 15 minutes. At this point I'm going to go ahead and use my hands to mix it up some more. It's going to be sticky, so make sure you get your hands wet. See how well it's coming together. So don't ever feel stressed about bread because it'll always come together in the end. Alright, so that's what we got at this point. And I'll be back in another 15 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes is up. So I'm going to go in, make sure you always go in with wet hands because it's a sticky dough. And this is what it should look like at this point. It's a nice dough to work with. So I'm just going to knead it just a little bit, and then we're going to turn it over on a flour surface and get it shaped into loaves. Okay, before we roll it out, I'm going to grease up 2 baking sheets. This is just olive oil I'm putting on here. And get them greased really good. I'm going to set these aside. We've got a cameraman right now. I'm just going to put some flour down on our surface here. And I'm going to go and get our dough. It should be very easy to work with at this point. I'm going to separate this into 2 different loaves. We're going to get this one rolled out. Just got to be in an oval shape. It don't have to be perfect. Roll it up like this. Pinch the seams as good as you can. Pinch the ends. And then we're going to place that seam down on the baking sheet. So you're going to end up with something like that, and then you're just going to roll it up, pinch, and stick that in the separate one. Now we're going to let these rise probably about an hour. My kitchen's kind of warm right now, but we'll come back and look at it around 45 minutes to an hour, and we'll see where they're at. Actually, at this point, after you get it rolled out, you can make some slits. They don't have to be pretty, just Usually do 4 slits on each of them. My cameraman left, so. Okay, now at this point you put them in a warm place in your kitchen and let it rise, and we'll be back. Okay, I am going to make a quick dessert for tonight. It is apple crisp. It's a very easy recipe. Here's everything you're going to need. You're going to need around 6 apples peeled and sliced, 1 cup of brown sugar, half cup of quick oats, half cup of flour, and then a half cup of butter, 1 stick softened. And then you're going to need 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and nutmeg, and then a 1/4 cup of water. So, and then I use this, you don't need this, you can just use a potato peeler or whatnot, or a knife. But I love this thing. It's the Johnny Apple Peeler. I've peeled many of apples with this thing, and it's very nice. I'll do it for you so you can kind of see the process. But I love this thing, so it's a very well-used machine in my kitchen. So, here's the ingredients, and we're just going to mix all these in the bowl. So here's the flour. The kids are playing in the background, so it might be a little loud. But then here's the brown sugar, and here's the cinnamon and nutmeg. So we're just going to mix that together for now, and then we're going to start the process of peeling these apples. Get this mixed up really well. Then I'm going to add the half cup of quick oats in there. Alright, now I'll take you over here to the apple peeler. Okay, this is how I have it set up. I just put it on the sink. There's a suction cup that's very strong. And then I'm just going to use that bowl that I mixed the dough for my French bread in, since it's just going to catch the peelings and the cores, and we'll bring that out to the pigs. And then we have a clean bowl over here to put our apple slices. So we'll get this process going. Let's see if that would be. Stick the apple on there. And there's, I don't know if you've seen that. There's the apple, and then it just skinned it, and then there's the core. So I just take this off, stick it in the scrap bowl, and I'll do my next apple. Now I'll only show you this one so you don't have to watch me do all of them, but just to show you how handy this tool is. You make lots of apple pie with it. Alright, so I'll finish these and we'll be back. Okay, I got all my apples peeled and cored. So I am going to put them in my baking dish. First I'm going to grease it really well. Just going to get some butter. I do want to show you. Eating corn on the cob. Aren't ya? Okay, we'll get back to this. I thought that was cute. Alright, so the baking dish is well greased. And we're gonna arrange these apples. Do a slice down the middle. Comes together pretty quick, this recipe, and it's delicious. Alright, so now we got all the apples here. Set that aside. Put the softened stick of butter in that mixture. This is going to be the crumble that goes on top of the apples. Cinnamony goodness. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to get this mixture evenly on top of the apples. So that's what it looks like. So now we're going to cook this at 350 degrees for 45 minutes or until the apples are tender and the top is nice and crisp. So we'll get this into our preheated oven. Okay, I forgot to do the water step. So we got that 1/4 cup of water, and after we get this all assembled, we're just going to sprinkle it on top of this before putting it right in the oven. Right, now we're going to bring this to the oven. It's at 350 degrees. Stick that in there. For 5 minutes. And I put this together while our French bread is rising, so that's how fast it goes together. Okay, timer for the apple crisp has been going off. Let's pull it out. The apples are nice and tender, and the crisp is perfect. Nice and crispy, and it smells very good, so we'll let this cool. Okay, here's the French bread after rising for about an hour. I have my oven preheated to 400, and I'm going to stick them in for about 25 minutes or until golden brown. Timer's going off. We're going to pull this bread out. All right, there it is. We're going to let it cool and then we'll cut into it. Okay, I have the bread cut up for supper tonight. I just wanted to show you the inside of the bread. It's like the perfect French bread. It's very soft inside and kind of hard and crispy on the edge, but it's going to be yummy. It's going to go quick.